Chapter 1. The Invisible Language. The eyes are the windows to the soul. That is the greatest lie ever told in the history of human psychology. We have been taught since birth to look at the eyes to find the truth. But in reality, the eyes are the most practiced liars on the human face. Think about it. When you were a child and you broke something, you were told to look me in the eye and tell the truth. You practiced. You learned how to hold a gaze while your heart was racing. You learned how to mask. But while you were mastering the art of the facial lie, you forgot about your feet. In the next 5 to 6 minutes, I am going to show you why the most dangerous information a person holds is leaking out of their shoes. We are going to explore the exit vector, a psychological phenomenon that is nearly impossible to fake. By the end of this video, you will never look at a conversation the same way again. You will see the truth, not in what they say, but in where they are prepared to run. Chapter 2. The Biological Honest Zone. To understand why this works, we have to analyze the architecture of the human brain. Most of our social behavior is governed by the neocortex, the rational, thinking part of the brain. This is the part that crafts your excuses and polishes your lies. However, your feet are governed by the limbic system. This is the ancient, reptilian part of your brain responsible for survival. When you feel threatened, or when you're hiding a secret that creates internal stress, your limbic system prepares for one of two things: fight or flight. Because we live in a civilized society, we rarely fight. Instead, our brain prepares for flight. It begins to maneuver the body toward the nearest exit. Long before your mouth says, "I have to go," your feet have already turned 45 degrees toward the door. This is the exit vector. It is the physical manifestation of a mental departure. Chapter 3. The 3 Pillars of Detection. There are 3 specific behaviors you must look for. First, the lead foot. If you're speaking to someone and one of their feet is pointed directly at you, but the other is pointed away, they are split. Their mind is divided. They are giving you their politeness, but they are giving the rest of the world their intention. Second, the gravity defier. This is the most honest signaling a human can give. When a person is genuinely excited or telling the truth, their toes will often point upward, or they will bounce slightly on the balls of their feet. This defies gravity. It is a surge of positive limbic energy. Conversely, a liar will often flatten their feet or tuck them under a chair in a defense posture, trying to make themselves smaller, less noticeable. Third, the knee wall. Watch the legs. If someone crosses their legs in a way that places their knee as a barrier between you and them, they are shielding. They have subconsciously decided that you are a threat to their secret. They are literally building a wall to maximize their emotional distance. Chapter 4. The Case Study. The Boardroom Betrayal. Consider a high-level negotiation. I once witnessed a CEO claiming he was all in on a new partnership. His voice was steady. His eye contact was perfect. His hands were open on the table, a classic sign of honesty. But under the table, his feet were hooked around the legs of his chair, locked in a freeze response. His brain was screaming that this deal was a trap. While his neocortex was selling the lie, his limbic system was paralyzed with fear. 2 weeks later, the deal collapsed. The signs were there the whole time. If you only look at the theater of the face, you will be a victim of the script. If you look at the feet, you become the director. Chapter 5. The Master's Shield. So, how do you use this without being caught? And more importantly, how do you defend against it? To recognize this in yourself is the first step toward becoming untouchable. If you find yourself in a high-pressure situation, consciously flatfoot yourself. Do not tuck your feet. Do not point them toward the exit. By force-correcting your posture, you actually send a signal back to your brain that says, "We are safe. We are staying." This is called biofeedback. You are maneuvering your own nervous system into a state of calm. You have now been given the first key to the void. You can see through the mask, but seeing the truth is only half the battle. Tomorrow, we move to Day 2. The shadow choice. I will show you how to not just see the truth, but to organize it. I will show you how to give people the illusion of freedom while you hold the strings. Welcome to the void. Subscribe to stay in the light.